ChatGPT just rolled out memory, and it's quietly making you worse at your job. So here's the thing. When OpenAI announced this feature, everyone got excited. Finally, ChatGPT remembers who you are, what you like, your preferences, your projects. Sounds amazing, right? But I've been testing it for weeks now, and the more I use it, the more I realize this feature is actually a trap. And I'm going to show you exactly why, and more importantly, how to work around it. Let me start with what memory actually does. When you enable it, ChatGPT watches everything you tell it. Your writing style, the projects you work on, the tools you prefer, your goals, your frustrations, it all gets logged. Then, in future conversations, ChatGPT pulls from that stored context and customizes its responses. So instead of re-explaining who you are or what you're working on, it just knows. In theory, that saves time. You don't have to paste your background into every new chat. The AI picks up where you left off. But here's where it falls apart. The human brain is not designed to have a perfect, permanent record of everything you've said. And when an AI has that, it changes how you interact with it, usually for the worse. First problem, you stop being explicit. When memory is on, you start assuming ChatGPT already knows your context. So you ask shorter questions, give less detail, make more assumptions in your prompts. The AI has less to work with, but you don't realize it because it seems to understand. It fills in the gaps from memory. But those gaps are where the AI actually learns what you need. Without them, the responses get shallower. You're getting faster answers that are less useful. You're trading depth for speed, and you don't even notice it's happening. Second problem, the AI gets lazy, and so do you. I tested this with a real work project. I was building a product strategy document. With memory off, I had to rethink my approach each time, explain my constraints, re-articulate my goals. It was annoying, but every time I did that, I found a flaw in my thinking. I'd realize mid-explanation that something didn't make sense. With memory on, I stopped explaining. ChatGPT just pulled my previous context and ran with it. The answers were faster, but they were repeating the same flaws I hadn't caught. The friction of re-explaining actually made me think better. Third problem, and this is the big one, memory locks you into patterns. ChatGPT learns your defaults and starts predicting what you want. That sounds efficient, but it's actually limiting. Some of the best work happens when you break your own patterns, when you approach a problem differently than you normally would. But when an AI has a full memory of how you usually think, it nudges you back toward those patterns. It's not malicious. It's just pattern matching. But pattern matching is the enemy of innovation. You end up in a local maximum. You're optimizing within your usual way of working instead of exploring new approaches. Fourth problem, privacy and lock-in. This one's less about productivity and more about control. Every single thing you tell ChatGPT is now stored on OpenAI's servers, tied to your account indefinitely. You can delete memories manually, but most people won't. OpenAI has financial incentive to keep that data. It makes their AI better. It makes you stickier to their platform, and it's valuable for training. You're not just using ChatGPT anymore. You're feeding it a detailed profile of how you work, what you care about, what you struggle with. And that profile is theirs, not yours. If you ever want to switch to Claude or another AI, you lose all that context. You're locked in. Fifth problem, memory can actually make the AI worse at novel problems. I tested this too. When I asked ChatGPT about something completely new, a problem in a domain I'd never discussed with it before, the memory feature actually interfered. The AI was pulling context from unrelated past conversations and forcing connections that didn't exist. It was trying to be helpful by connecting your new question to your old projects, but those connections were making the answer worse. The AI was overfitting to your history instead of thinking fresh. So what should you do? First, turn memory off. Seriously, go to Settings, disable it. Yes, you'll have to re-explain context sometimes. That friction is a feature, not a bug. It makes you clearer, makes the AI work harder, and keeps you from getting locked into patterns. Second, if you want the benefits of memory without the downsides, do it manually. Keep a separate document, a prompt template, or a project brief that you paste into ChatGPT when you start a new conversation. This gives you the best of both worlds. The AI gets full context, but you're not creating a permanent lock-in. You're in control of what gets remembered. You can update it, iterate on it, or throw it away. Third, use memory selectively. Maybe enable it for one specific use case, like a creative writing project where consistency matters, but keep it off for your core work. Compartmentalize. Don't let one feature colonize your entire workflow. And fourth, remember this. Convenience is the enemy of depth. Every time you choose faster over better, you're trading something you can't get back. ChatGPT's memory feature is convenient. It's also making you lazier, less precise, and more dependent on a single tool. That's not a win. That's a trap dressed up as a feature. The real skill isn't getting ChatGPT to remember you. It's learning to work with AI in a way that makes you think better, not just faster. And that usually means more friction, not less. If you're serious about actually using AI to level up your work instead of just automating it away, you need to understand these traps before they become habits. Subscribe. I break down these kinds of counterintuitive AI gotchas every few days, and they're usually the opposite of what the hype machine is telling you.